Hello and welcome. What if everything you had worked for, your reputation, your career, your relationships, could vanish in the blink of an eye? What if one phone call, one email, could shatter the life you thought you knew and leave you questioning everything? This is my story. It's not just about betrayal. It's about how I faced the unimaginable and emerged from the ashes of a life that seemed destined for ruin. Stay with me as I take you through a journey of heartache, regret, and ultimately, transformation. The phone rang at precisely 11:47 p.m., an hour that had become eerily symbolic in my life. On the other end of the line, a voice I recognized but never expected to hear in such a context asked, "Did you see the email?" I immediately felt a cold sweat break out on my back. The question was simple, but I knew the answer would shatter everything I had worked for: the trust, the respect, the life I had carefully built. What followed was a revelation so earth-shattering that it sent ripples of shock and disbelief through every part of my life. It wasn't just about a professional scandal. It was a betrayal that would unravel everything: my marriage, my career, and the person I thought I knew better than anyone. I had always prided myself on my reputation. As a respected professor, I had spent decades cultivating trust in my classroom and community. My students respected me, my peers looked up to me, and my personal life was a model of stability. But within seconds, that all changed. It began innocuously enough. An email appeared in my inbox one morning, marked with a subject line that made my stomach drop. Urgent. Confidential information concerning doctor name. I clicked the email open, unaware that this simple action would trigger a catastrophic chain of events. The message contained explicit video footage that threatened to ruin me. The man in the videos wasn't just any individual, it was me. The footage was damning, not just in its content, but in its sheer ability to tarnish the image I had spent my life carefully crafting. A wave of nausea hit me as I recognized the moments that had been captured on camera. I had been betrayed in the worst way possible, and now my personal life would be exposed to the world. The scandal didn't just stay confined to my email inbox. Within hours, the campus was buzzing with whispers, and before I knew it, my name was at the center of an all-consuming storm. The news spread like wildfire, touching every corner of the academic community. I watched helplessly as colleagues, once allies, now turned away from me with disgust. Some of them avoided my gaze in hallways, others closed their office doors when I knocked. The camaraderie that had once defined our professional relationships was replaced with cold shoulders. My office, once a place of learning and collaboration, had become a pariah's den. The isolation was suffocating. The students who had once respected me, looked up to me for guidance, now felt only anger and betrayal. Protests erupted in front of my office door. The angry chants of students demanding my immediate expulsion rang in my ears. The lectures I had once led with confidence now lay in ruins, as my students refused to attend them. The campus became a battleground, with social media platforms amplifying the outrage. But it didn't stop there. My colleagues, in their quest for public retribution, decided to take matters into their own hands. They gathered in the lecture hall, projected the videos onto a large screen for everyone to see, and turned my disgrace into an event for the entire institution to witness. This wasn't just professional disgrace, this was personal. This was the complete destruction of everything I had ever known. I was no longer just a professor. I was a symbol of failure, a cautionary tale. The reputation I had built over years of hard work was now in tatters. Perhaps the most painful aspect of this scandal was the personal betrayal that went beyond my marriage. The affair I had unknowingly been a part of was not just about my wife's actions. It was about the destruction of my own self-worth. I felt as though I had been living in a lie, a mirage of success and respectability. I had to face the painful truth. My life, my identity, had been a carefully constructed facade. I tried to shield her from the truth, wanting to protect her from the fallout. But when the email surfaced, it didn't just shatter our marriage, it shattered her too. She was blindsided by my actions and the destruction they caused, and I could see it in the way she carried herself in the days that followed. The remorse I saw in her was real, but so was the anger. Her tears, once for herself, now seemed to be for the damage we had both caused. She didn't just mourn the loss of our marriage. She mourned the person she had become. The betrayal that had once consumed me had now found a mirror in her own soul. Despite her pleas for reconciliation, despite her promises to change and make amends, the trust between us was gone. The foundation of our relationship had been shattered beyond repair. And so, I made the painful decision to file for divorce. Sitting across from her in the courtroom, I saw not the woman I had once loved, but a stranger. The woman who had once filled my days with laughter and joy now seemed like a ghost, a painful echo of the past. She had become a version of herself that I could no longer recognize. The woman who had once been my partner, my confidant, now seemed so distant that I could hardly believe we had ever shared a life together. The courtroom, which should have been a place for justice, felt more like a prison sentence, both for her and for me. The divorce proceedings were excruciating. The paperwork, the legal battles, the negotiations, all felt like a slow and painful reminder of the love that had once been. And yet, as I walked out of the courtroom, there was a sense of peace that began to settle within me. I had walked away not just with the end of a marriage, but with my dignity intact. In the months that followed, I embarked on a journey of self-discovery. I began to see the depth of the emotional toll this scandal had taken on me. Therapy became an essential part of my healing process. I had to confront the feelings of inadequacy, betrayal, and shame that had consumed me for so long. As I worked through the pain, I found solace in reconnecting with old friends. They provided me with the support I desperately needed. Their understanding helped me see that I was not alone, that the journey to healing was a shared one. Slowly but surely, I began to rebuild my life. Work became my anchor. What had once been a means of survival now transformed into a source of fulfillment. I poured myself into my research, rediscovered my passion for teaching, and began to find meaning in my professional achievements once again. My colleagues, who had once distanced themselves, began to see the transformation in me. They respected my resilience and my ability to rise from the ashes of this scandal. As I embraced this new chapter in my life, I found strength in the things that truly mattered. I took up new hobbies, rekindled old passions, and redefined who I was in this new world. I had been betrayed, yes, but I had also learned that my worth was not defined by the actions of others. I was more than the sum of my mistakes and my pain. In the end, I emerged stronger and more resilient. I had faced the worst kind of betrayal, and rather than allowing it to break me, I used it as an opportunity for growth. I had confronted the ghost of betrayal and refused to let it consume me. Now, as I look back on that painful chapter of my life, I can see how far I have come. The person I am today is someone who has not only survived but thrived. I have rebuilt my career, rediscovered my passions, and found peace within myself. I am no longer the man who was defined by betrayal. I am the man who has learned to rise, rebuild, and emerge victorious. If you've made it this far, thank you for staying with me. This journey of betrayal, heartbreak, and self-discovery is one that has changed me in ways I never thought possible. I hope that, in sharing my story, you have found some solace, understanding, or even strength in your own struggles. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes the hardest moments lead to the greatest transformations.